have to drill these out every time because the stopper dries shut. A little bit of peach. Is you got 3 colors on there and you start smearing those 3 colors, but you're going through paint that's still wet. So in a lot of places you get like 4, 5, 6 different colors blending in after you pass through some other wet colors. I try to pretty much fill up all white space with that, and then I go to the brush and start filling in different areas of white that I didn't get covered with this. And let that dry pretty good, and then work over it again. Put 2 or 3 different layers on it. Let it blend into gray. You can't stop and think. You just have to do it. Sometimes I put a black splatter over a white splatter. And then when you scribble through, you get a mix of the black and the what I do with my drill.
Okay, now we talk about you. What about you? How long you have been here in Houston?
I came here in 1970.
You come here from where?
The Army. I was born in Arkansas, but I got drafted in the Army and spent a year in Vietnam.
Allá en Vietnam.
When I came back from Vietnam, I knew the last place on earth I wanted to stay was my little hometown in Arkansas, so I got married and moved to Houston. I just retired from being the curator at the Art Car Museum here in Houston. I was curator there for 7 years, and retired about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and just been painting full time ever since.
These are just finished?
Yeah, these are all in the last couple of days or so. Couple of major things. A painter friend of mine, Erica, turned me on to this new paint. I was using Liquitex out of the tube pretty much exclusively, and it's really thick. And she turned me on to this more liquid paint that you can just squirt out, and it's a lot more fluid. And they have so many more different colors than the other brands, Liquitex or whatever. It's as if they've done all the mixing for you. You know, if you want a certain blue, gray tinted blue, they've already got one mixed. And then the other thing was this.
She put you in that too?
That is one of the most extraordinary painting tools you can buy.
What it is?
It's like neoprene or rubber, and you can squirt the paint on there in 2 or 3 different colors and go across there and have them all streaked together. The third thing was that I was working also exclusively on stretch canvas, which is very cost prohibitive. Nobody makes the stretchers, a few people that do charge an arm and a leg for them. Canvas is expensive, especially on that scale. And so I started working on illustration board, 40 by 30 and 40 by 32 illustration board. And it has absolutely increased my productivity by light years. You know, it's not a new idea. It's basically abstract expressionism, which came along in the 50s. And the whole premise behind it is that you have no preconceived idea of what the painting is going to be or look like when you start. You just start throwing paint down and smearing paint, and it sort of takes form before your eyes. It's very spontaneous, and the results are quite often magical because in the end there's something in these paintings that I didn't feel like I actually put there. It just came out of me spontaneously. And it's a real joy to finish one and to look back on it and wonder myself, you know, just how I did it. I think it's one of the most exciting ways you can paint. And a lot of people think it's probably the easiest way you can paint. And I'll guarantee you it's not. Just try it. I think really more like choreography. With an easel painting, it's a forearm and a wrist movement, but when it gets up a little scale like this, it's actually more like choreography. And you sort of, I feel like I'm sort of dancing the painting into existence. Yeah, I did the sand paintings for 12 years, and Jim Harris gave me a 10-year survey show at the station of that work.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I just felt like when that show came down that series was kind of like at the end of its run. And it was not a real spontaneous way of application. It was very tedious, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So by the end of 12 years, I was ready to explode into some kind of color and get back into real paint. And so that's how that came about. I don't know if I'm finished with that one or not. I'm real close, but I'm still may work on it. You know, I look back yesterday on some of the paintings I did just last year, like the middle of last year, and they have changed more drastically than I ever imagined myself.
Absolutely.
Just in that short period of time. So, you know, I consciously try to push them past what I've just finished.